40 years to this day.
Hi, I'm Jamie Lee Curtis.
I am John Carpenter.
I'm David Gordon Green.
I'm Jason Blum.
Why are you making this movie, Jason Blum? I mean, it really started with you.
Halloween has outlasted every other scary movie. There were some good incarnations and some bad incarnations, but it needed the perfect incarnation.
I'd like to give credit to David and his partner Danny for coming up with this story.
100%.
That's what made it.
How did you know? Because, with all due respect, horror is not at the top of your oeuvre.
Or is that?
Not yet.
Not yet. If you're a great director, you can make a great horror movie, even if you've never made a great horror movie before.
Action camera, go from this blood, raise that, and take you here.
A lot of our movies, we hire directors who haven't made horror movies before. I've been trying to get him to work with us, and he's politely declined. But I sent him an email and said, what do you think of Halloween?
When I got Jason's email, I remember very vividly, the notion of Halloween made my legs start to shake as if I was standing on the edge of something very intimidating.
I love that.
And I knew from that moment that this was going to happen. And it became this passion project for me to try to write something that would appeal to you, to then appeal to you, to then appeal to the world. That became extraordinarily exciting in the blink of an eye.
Rolling. Camera, set, action.
What's interesting to me is I find the two of you are very similar people in both your personalities, your backgrounds, and what I really responded to is the fact that you create the exact same community of creativity.
Anything you want to play with Jamie on this one?
Okay.
Was Halloween your favorite horror movie?
It was, yeah.
Most people say Halloween's their favorite scary movie. Now, why do you think that is?
It's because I think the way we put it together, you hadn't seen anything like that at the time.
What do you mean? What were the horror movies before that people were used
Black
to?
Christmas, you remember that movie?
Right.
Bob Clark?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They always had an explanation.
Right.
The music always told what was going to happen
Right.
before it happened.
Right.
As opposed to what we did was the instant it happens so that you're ready for it. And they didn't use widescreen and the Steadicam.
Which was new.
It was brand new then.
Yeah.
And people hadn't seen anything like it. I think that was the reason.
I think ultimately, Deborah Hill,
Right.
who was co-writer and producer,
Right.
had a lot to do, I'm guessing, with the girls in the movie. And you see, there is this ubiquitous sense of middle America, the every girl. Laurie Strode is the every girl. She lives in this little town, and you create this beatific reality.
Right.
And then you introduce a monster, but the monster is in human form. He is this enigmatic human.
Right.
You know, it's a human mask.
With no backstory.
With no affect. So he isn't a monster that is not real. And we know he's a human being because we've seen it at the beginning of the movie. And I think it's that. I think it's this simplicity of this quiet place with these very real, sweet people doing their daily life.
Right.
And the introduction of what we learn from Donald Pleasance, which is pure evil. What you've done with this movie is reintroduce Laurie back into the story. You've brought her back to the center of the story.
Right.
And her family.
Right, of
So
course.
you've established something, I call them Hello Women, because they are now united.
For a next story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think there's more story to tell because of Jamie's character.
he's waited for me. I've waited for him.